So, I don't know about you. I mean, I think we're both feeling like in a stupid funk today. Like, I know for a fact that, like, I feel a little bit useless right now, even though I need to be doing a lot. So, like, I feel like I'm weighed down on both ends. Like, I feel like really useless and I feel overburdened and stressed.
I actually had a pretty okay day.
No, I just mean in general, not just today.
Oh, yeah.
I meant to, like, when we got on today, like, we were both like, well, what do you want to talk? I don't know. No. And then you were like, you would say, like, let's talk about this. And I'd be like, no. And I'd be like, let's talk about this. And you'd be like, no.
Yeah, mate.
Uh-oh. And you're working on your Australian accent, which pisses me off to no end.
But you haven't even heard it yet.
Every time I hear about it, it just makes me just want to punch you.
Cringe inside?
No, punch you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. It's the Brightside with Mikey and Rachel. I'm Rachel.
I am Mikey.
And this is the podcast where we talk about Lindy Hop, our opinions, and basically anything else we feel like.
Like fart jokes.
You know, it's funny that you post that everywhere. I was going to say something to you because we never make fart jokes, and yet you post it everywhere.
Yeah, because
we make fart jokes. It's like false advertising, man.
here's the thing. I always make fart jokes. You just don't listen.
You're not making fart jokes on the podcast.
Oh, I am.
No.
Oh, yeah. If you go back and listen, I've listened to all of them now. But now that they're all up on YouTube.
Re-listened?
I've listened.
No.
It's all right. It's fine. It's fine. You could disagree to
cool.
you could
It's
disagree
cool,
to
boo.
agree
It's
to
cool.
disagree.
Hi. Well, how you doing? What's going on? What's shaking?
I'm good. Like I
What's
said,
crack-a-lackin'?
like I said, like I feel slightly overburdened and like completely useless. Like
Tell me about it, boo.
I know it happens when my eyes start twitching because I'm like, oh God. And
interesting.
it's my stupid fault. Yeah, I know when I'm too stressed about something, like my eyes start twitching, like right before cowbell, right before inspiration
overcommit?
weekend. No, just in general, just stressed out about
yeah, but
something.
I'm saying is the stress because you've overcommitted yourself?
No, it's mostly because I feel like I've what's the word when you don't do something?
Procrastinate?
Yeah, I've procrastinated on this one thing that I need to be doing that I know I've been needed to do for like the past couple months, and I just don't do it, and I don't know why. I'm like every day I'm like, oh,
Is
fuck.
it your taxes?
Yeah, it's always taxes. It's always some,
It's always taxes.
but it's German taxes, so that makes it even weirder. So
Oh man! Oh, it is. It is actually taxes.
yeah.
Yeah, those suck.
Yeah, so I've been needing to do like this one thing on it. I just fucking need to do it. Like, fuck, I just need to do
Ouch,
it.
friend.
Yeah,
I feel sorry for you.
I mean, but instead of doing that, I'm procrastinating by watching good movies.
Well, hey, you know.
I watched the. I've been watching two things lately. Well, two of them. I've been watching a lot of things, but two of them really stood out to me. The first one is this ESPN 30 for 30 documentary series that they have, which is fucking fantastic.
Okay.
And it's a documentary, and it's ESPN, so it's based around something sports related. So,
Okay.
for instance, like one of their first ones was about the Colombian national soccer team back in the
Okay.
early '90s, and how like they were completely like kicking everyone's ass, and then they like had this big, huge fallout in the '94 World Cup, and then
Something that's very near and dear to your heart.
yeah, where just a lot of shit happened, and one of the guys on the team scored on his own goal. A month later, he got shot and killed in Cartagena or something like that.
No, really?
Yeah, because I mean, it was legit. Like it wasn't just because like they were doing great and then they fell from graces. It was because they were doing great because cocaine was behind it, and like the height of the like the Escobar people type drug runners were like running the entire country. So
Yeah.
and it had to do with all of that. Like it was the center part was the talking about the sport itself and like the team.
Yeah.
But the whole documentary talks about all these pieces surrounding it and how it affects it, and this is why it became like such a big topic. In this
God.
in this one though, it's about OJ.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
Orenthal James Shim.
Shim, shim, shim.
Shim. But no, it's all about him, like his rise and and then like all the social aspects around living in the 1960s, 70s, 80s, and the 90s when all this murder trial went down.
Yeah.
And I'm almost done with it. I have one more series, but there's like, I think it was 5 parts of the series. Each one is about an hour and a half.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's really cool. Like it's really weird because sometimes you forget it's about OJ because they go on these other topics and they bring it back around and they show you how it like wraps up together.
Wait, I think I saw that.
Yeah, I think it was up. I want to say it was up for like an Emmy because it was a ESPN thing and it was up for a documentary or something. It was
super good.
Yeah, it's crazy good. It's really, really, really good, and it's got so many different perspectives and so many different things. It doesn't leave you with an answer. It leaves you with so much information. You're like, well, fuck. I am so glad I don't have to like make up my mind about that.
Yeah. Also, I saw that you posted about seeing La La Land.
I saw the Lost Lands, the Lost Lands.
The La La's Land.
Yeah, that's land is yeah. I saw it and yeah, it. So okay, here's the thing. Spoiler alert. You've seen it, right?
Love it. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I saw it.
Yeah. Like
I saw it.
And I want to hear what you have to say about it, but I feel like everyone went into the movie expecting one thing and then it came out of it with another, or went to see it and saw it for what they wanted it to see it for. So like I heard a shit ton of people talking about like, oh, Chester's in it, so it related them to dancing. Oh, there's like so much musicality and dancing and like the singing and everything. Like, oh, it's just like an old film, so they got that out of it. And there was other people that were like, oh, it's a good film and the way it's shot, the cinematography, like, oh, it's so busy, so they got that out of it. Like, I feel like truly, honestly, that this film is probably one of the best films around. And I don't say that lightly. Like, I mean, like, it's a really, really good film for the pure fact that it was so many different things to so many different people.
Yeah.
You know, like, it was a musical, yeah, and it was a lot about dancing, and it was a lot about like old school Hollywood and like how it relates with today, but also has a lot to do with like more so how it is in the business today. Like getting a fucking what is it called? Audition. And doing all that kind of stuff, like I feel like, what's up? What's wrong?
Oh, well, something happened with the sound where it got slowed down a ton and your voice was like really low garbling.
Yeah.
And then it paused and then it went back to normal.
Okay.
Also, it was wild.
Okay, that was weird. Okay. But everything's fine now, right?
Everything's
okay.
fine.
Okay, good. But I mean, okay, so yeah, it was a lot of different things, so a lot of different people, and there's so much going on in the film, and I feel like that's something that to me it speaks to my soul, my personal soul, like my ideas, my mindsets, my heart, where it's at now, where it's been, where it might be going, like, you know, like all that sense. And to me, what that says is that the person, the director, the writer, putting this piece together really had a lot of ideas and then was able to kind of put it all together and form this really straightforward narrative, like boy meets girl, boy gets girl, boys and girls, they fucking leave each other, you know?
Yeah.
And it was realistic enough, and it was fantastic enough, and it was like classic enough, and it hit so many different spots, and that to me is like clear mark of art, of this guy, these writers, these directors, these people that put this amazing film together. I feel personally had their own objective, and they didn't care about anybody else's perspective about it. They had their perspective on it, and they did it to what they felt was good, and then after that, they let it go into the world and just be like, okay, here, now everyone else, you think about it however you want to think about it, because there's so many different ways to approach it. You know?
Yeah.
You know, it's like art is worthwhile when the artist is making it and not showing it to anybody, but the moment they show it to somebody, it's no longer just theirs anymore. It's gone on to a new point of view, a new perspective, and their thought processes and their experiences are brought towards it too.
Something that I have come to realize after living in LA is that so much of popular music and even like less popular music and movies are harder to understand and harder to grasp if you don't live here.
Right.
Like, even if you visited here, you won't understand it the way you would if you live here. Like, so many movies take place in LA, even if they don't specifically mention LA. It's like so quintessential Los Angeles, and LA is unlike any other city. And so, but it's hard to like understand those, what's the word I'm looking for?
Perspectives, point of views.
The like the intricacies, the like the subtleties.
Right.
It's harder to understand the subtleties of that when you aren't physically here all the time.
Like,
and the same thing with music. Like,
go ahead.
Like there's a lot of times I listen to pop music, and like as I got older, I was like, man, this pop music sucks. But then like when I'm driving down Sunset Boulevard on the Strip and I'm listening to this music, I'm like, this is the background music to this city.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, totally. Like, what was one of the subtleties that you picked up on that you get now that you live in LA? Just like one.
This vibe of like, it's really hard to explain, but it's like a very ethereal concept of like sunshine and brightness.
Right.
And I feel that feeling a lot when I'm listening to a lot of pop music. Like when I listen to pop music now, I imagine like riding in a convertible down Sunset Boulevard, like with like the sun shining in my face.
Like the new season of Kimmy Schmidt when Titus is all like singing about like California has the best boobs.
Yeah,
and it's like everything like that.
Or like,
but you know what's funny
or like
is
walking down the boardwalk in Venice. Like,
you know,
like those are images that are conjured when I listen to that music.
But you know what's funny is like when you started talking about the pop music and everything, I was like, oh yeah, I didn't think about that because like in the film, it says like spring, or it says winter and then spring and then fall and then nothing's changed. It just says it. You know, and I'm like, that's one of the subtleties of like living in LA. It's like, yeah, seasons change, but not much changes in LA. Like it's pretty much, I mean, for the most part. I mean, of course,
January starts with fall.
Yeah.
And then we go to summer.
Yeah.
And then we go to spring.
Exactly.
And then we go to summer. And then we go to fall.
Yeah. Just for a little bit.
Just for a little, but the fall's like, December to February.
It's like November really ish.
Yeah, November to February.
I think, but yeah, that's one of the funny things. I didn't really get that until you said it. But like that's again like that you get those subtleties because you move from one place to another and you see that the things that happen in LA. For me, like the two things that caught my eye caught like my attention was like the first act is clear, like holy shit, it's gonna be a musical. Oh my god, I might turn this off. But like I stuck with it, and then like the second act was like a straight up drama.
Yeah.
And then the third act was it just fucking killed me. Like it just built me up on that first act to just completely drop me in the second and third act. And that third act was so real for me, and that's the thing I took away from it, that I was just like, oh my god, like there's so much going on. Like the main character is having to deal with like, like doing this other project that he's not super passionate about so he can fund his passion project, which is the thing that the director, I'm blanking on his name, the director did with basically, in essence, like he did Whiplash and another movie just so he could do La La Land. Like, because La La Land was in talks like for a long time and nobody really wanted to do it. And then after Whiplash, they greenlit it completely.
Well, and those stories are like, that's like the LA story.
Yeah.
People hustling so that they can pursue their passion projects.
And even with that, the hustle comes back and can kick you in the ass a little bit or kick you in the heart a little bit with having to deal with like one thing or the other, or like having to choose between two different ways of getting there.
Also, I don't think like anyone who doesn't live in LA wouldn't understand this, but there's nothing like seeing a musical break out when you're stuck in gridlock on the 405.
The only thing, I mean, I thought it was great dancing, to be fair. Like, I thought it was like everybody in there. I was like, damn, everyone's a good dancer. And then the second part was like, holy shit, they had to stop that intersection from the 105 to 405. No, it was the 405 to 105, right?
Yeah,
that's the 105.
something like that.
That's the 105 or the 110. Yeah, I think it's
the 110.
It goes to the 110, right? It's the on ramp to the 110.
I think so. Yeah.
And the only thing I thought of was like, oh my god, they had to stop it for however long they needed to shoot that film.
How awful was that?
Yeah, and
I don't even know.
I was like,
I can't even imagine.
I can't even imagine either. Like, I was just like, the people must have killed them, or they must have spent a lot of money and spent it to the city of Los Angeles. Got a lot of money from that.
Yeah, I also thought the movie was just like so classically old Hollywood.
I thought
old meets new.
Well, and you know what it was like. I remember watching this round table discussion in the Hollywood Reporter on YouTube. They had Childish Gambino, aka Donald Glover, Jon Favreau, Lin-Manuel, and the director of this movie, and someone else I forget. But basically, they were like, look, the thing you did with that movie was so great, and it's like it boils down to one thing. It's like the Stanley Donen thing. It's like, do not cut. Show the entire dance, show the entire scene. Try to don't cut from one end to another point. Get different perspectives. Get one person's perspective, and then have the dancers interact with that person, and then have that follow. So that caught my eye a lot. I was like, yes, they didn't cut from one scene to another, or from another angle to another angle. They just got the one continuous scene. Or cut it so well that it looked like one continuous scene, because it was so good. And even like the cheesiest dance section where they were like in the planetarium and they were like flying around.
Oh yeah.
I was still like, this is amazing. This is so beautiful.
Oh yeah, no.
Like, I totally fell for it.
I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, but yeah. So the thing that got me at the end was when like John Legend is talking to Ryan Gosling about like, you want to be a revolutionary, but you gotta like get money to do that. Like, you live in the past. How can you revolt if you're living in the past? Like, you got to live in the now, And he was talking to him, being like, look, you can do your passion project, but like you can make also good music with me, or you can make good art with me for the meantime until you do it. And I thought that was really, really interesting, because I feel like sometimes I personally like think about myself. I'm like, oh man, this is too cheesy, or this is not hard enough, or like, what am I doing with this dance? Like, I'm just doing the same old fucking swing out like every 10 minutes. Like, sometimes I keep myself like chill just for a little bit, and then the bigger thought will come up. Like, but I can't try to top myself every other second,
Yeah, totally.
In like a dance routine or something, and just that ending, just like real close to home for me, real close to home. It was, and I'm glad I waited this long to watch it, because I didn't. It was one of those things where like I watched it in pre-production and I knew it was coming and I knew all this stuff was happening, but I had no idea what the movie was about. I heard a bunch of people talking about it after it came out in the last fucking 6, 7 months, 8 months now, but I was like,
you saw dance performances on it. Yeah,
and I saw dance performances on it, and I was like, okay, whatever. But then I saw the movie, and it completely. I saw a different movie from. I feel like I saw a different movie from other people.
Yeah.
Because all I heard about was the dance scene, or like how they weren't great dancers, or like the singing, or how they weren't great singers. And I'm like, I saw a really good film.
Were you hearing that from mostly in Lindy Hoppers?
I mean, that's basically my friend group. Yeah.
I mean, like,
that
I heard
and like
a lot of
wannabe theater people. So.
Yeah, I mean, I heard a lot of people be like, "Oh, they're not good dancers," or they're not great singers, or that wasn't real jazz. When he's like, "This is jazz," and I like, maybe they weren't great dancers or great singers, but that's not what makes a movie great.
Right, and I think that's the thing is that's what I'm talking about. Like, the point of view, those people went in to see the movie. Like, I think they were like expecting to see this like spectacular old school, great dancers and great like the triple threats. Great actors, great singers, great dancers. Like, and I'm like, but they're not. Like, they're gonna like try to hit those beats, but like don't go in there expecting that. Like, expect a grand storytelling on film. Like, imagine that. Like, that's what I got from it. And I feel like it hit so many people, like in so many like human spots, like in the sense of like the human spots, armpit,
those human spots,
armpit, head, shoulders, knees and toes.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. But like in the sense of we've all been in these situations. How do we ask someone out on a date? Like, how do we go on a first date? Like, how do we deal with friends? How do we deal with the not entertainment industry, but like, how do we deal with our job? And sometimes we hate it, or we do things that like we don't want to do, but it helps fund the things we want to be doing. Fucking being a bum, not being able to pay your bills, or so many different things in that movie that are so true for so many different people. Even though it's like, it's a little bit in the fantasy part of it as well, of course, but I feel like it still hit like real beats, like true life.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Totally.
Anyways,
Totally.
so that's where I've been.
Cool. That was a lot.
Yeah. How about you? I heard you got new headshots.
I got new headshots on Monday, and I already got them, and they look fantastic.
Ooh.
So, because you were like, oh, but you just got headshots back in May or March or whenever it was, which I did with Jess Keener, which were awesome. But the problem is, so my agent wants us to be quote unquote network ready, which means like, so
for everybody at home, she just did air quotes with her fingers.
Air quotes.
That was great.
Little bunny ears.
Network ready.
From August to December is like when a lot of the TV shows pick back up.
Right.
And they're hiring for a lot of small parts.
Right.
And so she wants to submit us for these parts. But in order to have these parts, we have to have certain kinds of what they call looks on our profiles. So that way,
what they call looks.
Looks. So if they're looking for like a young mom, they need a picture of you looking like a young mom so that they can submit to the casting agents, so that way they can look at you and be like, oh yeah, she does look like a young mom, let's bring her in.
Right.
Or like a businesswoman or a hipster or like a victim or whatever.
I think if you've seen any television show or movie about the fucking movie industry or TV industry, you've seen these kind of like I'm looking at a clock and I have a business suit on, or like I have a clipboard and
sort of. They're
like, I know those are
better than that.
Yeah, those are the kind of but those are the ideas. It's like, look, you can play these many different roles, and this is what I look like in these kind of ideas. Exactly.
So I had to get some looks done. So I did a love interest.
Aww.
I did young mom, a hipster, a businesswoman, and then like a edgy hero kind of look.
How did the edgy one go? How did the edgy one go?
Oh, well, so I had to go do a lot of shopping because when you go, you have to take like 3 or 4 clothing options with accessories for every look.
Oh, Jesus.
So that way the photographers can like pick out what they think will best represent these qualities and also look the best on you.
Yeah.
So I bought like a tattered shirt and a leather jacket that's got like these sweet zippers all over it. And so I bought a ton of clothes. I left all the price tags on, so I'm returning almost all of it because like most of the stuff is not stuff that I would actually wear.
Right. Smart.
I know. Thank you. But so I like took all this stuff to the register when I was going to pay for it, and the girl was like, "Man, this leather jacket though, it's like pretty great." And I was like, "Oh, thanks. Yeah, I just found it, and I thought like this might go well for this thing that I'm doing." And then I was showing my friend Emily Martin all of my clothing options the night before, and I was like, "Do you think these things like resemble like a young mom or whatever?" And she was like, "Oh my God, but that leather jacket, you have to keep it." And so then when I went to the photo shoot, both the makeup artist and the photographer were like, "Man, this leather jacket."
Everyone's just fawning over you in the fucking leather jacket.
Over the leather jacket.
That's so funny.
Probably going to keep the leather jacket. It's not real leather. It's faux leather.
Everyone, be cool. It's not real leather.
It's not real leather. Don't worry.
Wink, wink.
But it's pretty rad. Winky, winky.
Air quotes.
It's pretty rad. So I'm going to probably keep it and then return everything else.
Yay.
And yeah, I guess that's about all that's been going on with me. I started a new class last week. I got a new class starting next week, like acting classes.
Damn.
And
that's so much fun.
Guess who's coming to visit me this weekend?
Guess who's coming for dinner? Who's that?
Mr. Kevin J. Clark.
Oh, God.
And his brother, Brendy Boo.
Oh, no. Both of them are going to be there at the same time?
And Kevin's girlfriend, Rachel.
Yeah.
It's confusing.
Rachel, yes.
Yes. But they're coming to visit me and Brett.
That's cool.
Not just me.
Fun. That's going to be great. When are they
I'm
coming out?
very excited. They're coming out on Sunday.
Oh, very soon. How long are they going to stay for?
I know. Well, they're staying for a week, but they're only going to stay until Wednesday with us. And then I think they're going to stay with some of Rachel's friends who I think live in Venice Beach.
Oh, they're the cool people.
I'm making a lot of assumptions here. I was like, ooh, Venice Beach, good luck over there.
Yeah.
Like, you won't get in or out there once you're
there, you just stay there.
It's like the Twilight Zone.
It is. It's very true. Also, the Twilight Zone was just full of people in their 30s. So
yeah. Also, good luck paying $40 a day for parking.
Oh, Jesus.
I know, right?
So let's go on to the topic of the day.
Yes. So the topic is obsessive and harmonious dancing. Well, goodness gracious, what does this mean? So it all started. Was that too cheesy?
Yeah, I mean a little bit, but I mean, it's okay. You're asking the question where everybody's asking.
Gosh, Rachel, whatever could you mean by obsessive and harmonious dancing? Well, Mikey, let me tell you.
I do sound like that, by the way.
A long, long time ago. So a few weeks ago, my friend, Shayna Worrell, she's my friend. I'm friends with Shayna. She's so great. Shayna Worrell posted this article on Facebook from outsideonline.com that is called Sustaining a Lifetime Passion for Your Sport.
Yes.
And the whole article is about like how, well, it kind of has two parts. One is like, how do you just like genuinely enjoy the sport that you're doing for the long term? And secondly, like, how do you balance between like having obsessions for the sport, like needing to win, having validation, having a ton of pressure, and just enjoying it for the love of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and this goes really true because like when we started the show today, we talked about a little bit about like our funk, and you were talking to me about like the funk you've been having in dancing in general in LA, and
yeah.
And then you started talking about this article, and that's when we got into it, and I was like, I have to read this article, and there's so many really great points about it. But before we get into it, why don't you talk about the funk you've been having? Yeah.
So basically, I've just been feeling relatively unmotivated to go out and dance, partially because like there's I mean, while there are a ton of people in the dance scene, there aren't a lot of very advanced dancers. And when I go out on a certain night, I might have like 3 or 4 or maybe 5 leads to dance with, who are my friends over the course of the night.
They're your friends. It's okay.
And they're my friends. They're all super fun to dance with. But I find that I haven't found any inspiration lately. I don't feel like I'm being very challenged. And so it's just like, I'm fine. I have like a lack of purpose. Like I feel kind of like an outsider. I feel like maybe there's just like not enough reason for me to go out. if that makes sense.
Yeah, of course. I mean, of course it makes sense because it makes sense to you. It's
And I feel crappy about it because everyone else seems like they're having a good time. Like everybody, like all my friends go to the same dances every single week, dance to the same stuff, and they seem like happy clams, and I'm like this old like salty dog being like, I need something new, I need something fresh. Why can't anybody challenge me? Why can't I find inspiration? Why can't I just have fun?
right. But so this is the funny part. In this article that you sent me when we were chatting about it, like I instantly thought that you were going to be the more passionate one in this article, but you are actually turns out to be the more obsessive one.
I am an obsessive dancer.
Yeah, and
that.
that's the thing is because and it all boils down to one statement you said, and you said it a couple times even before we hopped onto the show, was that like you don't feel like there's anything challenging you, you know, and like that's like one of the things that we're going to talk about here. So this is very common. I think the last couple of podcasts we've actually tackled something sort of similar to this of people in scenes that just don't feel like they're being their best selves when they're dancing anymore. And you know what it comes down to? It also like around the same topic before we jump into the whole the questions or not the questions but the topics that come up from this article is that I feel like there's a lot of advanced type dancers, but there's not the experience level that you have compared to them, where like you have the experience of being a scene leader and trying out new things and then doing all these big contests and going out and traveling and going to places like Harang where you've never been to, and like it takes you time to like get into it, and when you get into it you fucking love and enjoy everything about not just the dance but things that are surround the dance. But the thing about it is I feel like there's not the type of dancer that wants to be what's the word that wants to fuck with it for lack of like blunt,
like rock the boat.
No, just fuck with the dance. Just not even rock the boat. Like, because rock the boat means you're doing it for other people that are on this boat. Like, you want to rock,
creating waves.
You just want to fucking rock out. You want to fuck things up for yourself. And like, I feel like a lot of people have a pressure to be perfect or a pressure to be a certain way, and I feel like that comes out a lot in the LA scene. Because of the culture that it breeds there in general, like we were talking about before about being in the like TV and film industry. Like it kind of it creates this kind of pressure, but I think with our subculture of Lindy Hop, we can escape all the ideas of wherever our place in life is or culture around wherever we live. Like I feel like we can transcend it into another culture where we create our own best ideas of being our best selves and being that best self on the dance floor as well. So this article ask a couple good questions. We're going to start off with these questions is how do we sustain passion for a sport over the course of a lifetime? Of course, there's going to be a lot of sports references, so good luck for people who play the sports or who don't play the sports.
Well, and I think like for the sake of this episode, we're considering Lindy Hop a sport. It is athletic.
Yeah.
You do have to have athletic skills to achieve physically doing the dance.
I think you hit another good point before we get into that question is there's so many different ways to come at this dance. Absolutely. I think we're talking about one part of it or a good chunk of it, which is like what we talked about it before. We kind of boiled it down to two ends, and then within those ends, there's different subsets as well. So like one end is just kind of being the hobbyist and enjoying it for what it is and going out on a Friday night and just having fun a little bit here and there, not having to worry about taking classes, not having to worry about feeling better or whatever. And there's another part of it that is like wants to be a professional and wants to push themselves, wants to challenge themselves and want to go compete and want to be like do this and have a goal and hit that goal. Like that's a whole nother set inside of it. And this part of it really, really coincides with being an athlete, like trying to train your body and trying to train your mind and your passion for it at the same time. And that's the obsessive and harmonious dancer. So every time we say sports or anything or athlete, just basically assume that we're talking about a dancer. And I think
Yeah.
this coincides really well and mirrors the whole dance life. So, how do we sustain a passion for a sport over the course of a lifetime? What do you think?
Well, I think this is a really good question because I did martial arts for 12 years.
Right.
I thought I was going to do it for most of my life. And then I found Lindy Hop and I just dropped it just like that.
Peace out.
So, yeah, I literally just turned around and walked away and never looked back.
Yeah.
And I've been dancing now for 12 years and I've hit this funk and I'm like, do I need to find a new hobby? I've hit my 12-year benchmark.
You're like,
what do I do?
Your body and your mind are like going like, okay, time to change. Where are we going?
Yeah, time to change. Like, where are we going now?
To be fair, like I mean, you are in that stage of your life in general where you are in this crossroads and you've chosen your way and you're going for it. So it does feel like you're sort of leaving it behind in a way, but you don't want to, right?
Yeah, I mean,
because
I would say here's what this is how I feel it all happened in my head was when I left Albuquerque, I was leaving behind a dance studio that I had created, a Lindy Hop school that I had created, and like an entire community that I had helped harvest and grow and cultivate. And I was like a very integral part of the scene. And because there weren't a lot of people from Albuquerque, when I would go out and travel and tell people I was from Albuquerque, they would recognize me immediately.
Right.
They'd be like, oh, it's the Albuquerque crew.
Yeah, of course.
When I moved to LA, all of those things went away. But it wasn't because I didn't want to pursue them anymore. I just didn't have those opportunities necessarily. So I've had this like large hole in my dance fulfillment that I've never been able to fill. And I've been trying to figure out ways ever since then to fill it by like mostly just by like accepting that things aren't the same here as they were there.
Right.
And so I just need to become okay with the situation that I'm in now. Like things change and we gotta move on with life.
I'm okay. It's fine.
I'm okay.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
I'm okay.
So, how do you sustain your passion for the sport over the course of a lifetime? What would you suspect that like makes you that the parts where you were like loving it the most? Like, obviously, those are the parts we want to kind of keep the whole time as we're doing this over a lifetime.
I think the community is a big one.
No, that's a good one.
Maintaining friendships, because like I do love the dance, but I would say that I probably love my friends more.
That's a good one. Finding the camaraderie of a community.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
Because like if I hated everyone in the scene, I probably wouldn't want to go out dancing anymore.
Right.
Like if I had the means to, maybe I would move to a different scene so I could be more active in that scene, but because I'm in LA and I'm not moving anywhere, like
I'm not going anywhere anytime soon.
I'm like, even though I love the dance deeply, I might go find something else to try to fulfill that similar passion.
That's like a whole nother topic we could talk about of how and why like the big cities of like LA and New York, like where like the dance is alive and thriving, but like there's so much else going on.
So difficult to be a part of it.
It's just so much else going on in the world and in the city itself that like, why would you just boil yourself down and do one thing only?
So, something that I have again realized since I've been living in LA is there are a lot larger and more important things going on in this world than Lindy Hop.
Yeah, of course.
But being in like Podunk, Albuquerque, Lindy Hop was my world.
Right.
And there's nothing going on there, so it did feel like the most important thing.
Right, but I think the idea of sustaining the feeling of like why is it important to you is deciding. Like, so for my thing of how do we sustain it is like deciding what it means to you.
And
Yeah.
that doesn't mean that it's going to be the same throughout your lifetime. Like, I feel like we get pressured into the idea of like, you must be this way and you will never change. Like in a lot of parts,
Yes.
aspects of our lives. And so I feel like we bring that to Lindy Hop, and it's like, you must be like this forever. And once it changes, you're like, no, it's gone. Like it can be a part of your life. And like, I've only become accustomed to feeling like that and thinking like that over the last like 3 years, where I'm like, you know what? Like, there might come a time where I'm not going to be in Madrid all the time or in Europe all the time or like traveling on an airplane all the time. And I'm okay with that because I know it's not, Lindy Hop is not going to leave my life. Like I will still have a foot
Just
somewhere
because you're
in
no
it.
longer on an airplane.
Yeah. Just because I'm no longer on an airplane. It just changes. And you gotta kind of like be okay with it. So that, So that brings up the next part of it. Like, so like we talked about like how it can mean that maybe you do as a hobby or maybe you do it as like a goal setting, and sometimes goal setting is like competitive. A lot of people out there are really competitive. Like obviously like that's a big part of our scene nowadays, and who knows if it'll be like that in the future, but it's always been a little bit part of our dance culture in Lindy Hop. But like I feel like it's really, really like prevalent nowadays. Yeah. So how do we keep a healthy perspective on competition?
I mean, I guess by just saying it's just dancing.
Yeah.
Like we're not curing cancer with Lindy Hop. I mean, we are changing lives to some extent. Like, you know, for me, like Lindy Hop has pulled me out of some really dark times, but it didn't cure cancer.
Yeah. You know what's really funny is like my thing for this part when I'm like going competition. Sometimes, most of the time, every time I go out to like a teacher demo where they're just like, you're just gonna go out there, you're gonna dance for like 8 eights, and then you're gonna wave at the crowd, and then you're gonna like, okay, that's it. Like literally, like that's what we're doing for teacher demos sometimes, like introductions, right? There's a new thing like teacher demos and introductions. Okay, whatever, introductions if you need to have them. It's such a weird thing, but like in my head, I'm like, I want to win this teacher demo.
Like I want to have the best teacher demo.
I want to have the best teacher demo. And then like I get up there and I'm like, I'm an idiot. Like this is so stupid. Nobody's gonna watch this. Nobody cares. This is just to be like, okay, these are the teachers that you're gonna have in case you didn't know. I'm an idiot. Fucking calm down. Like perspective, right? Perspective of going like, wow, like I put so much pressure and so much unneeded energy into this one little thing that's gonna last 8 eights, and I'm like, oh, you're an idiot, Mikey. Like, fucking calm down. But in the real sense,
but what about like the people who train for several months to go to like ILHC and then don't make the finals of anything? Or
I don't know. I'm not those people. But like, but the thing is,
I'm not those people. I never have to be in prelims.
But the thing is, like, the healthy perspective on competition for myself. Like, I can't talk about other people. I'm just talking about like the things for myself. Like the healthy competition when it comes to competition itself. The best way to do it is like, do I trust myself? Because like I felt like this happened last year at ILHC. Like I didn't trust myself in a routine I did last year, and I kicked myself every day that I was like, fuck, why didn't I trust myself? I had full confidence in my partner. I had full confidence in the whole idea of it. But then like when it come down to it, I was like questioning myself up to the point, and I'm like, why are you doing this? Why did I? So I sabotaged myself because I thought of like, no, this needs to be better. And I'm like, it is what it is right now. And then like, just go out there and perform the fuck out of it. And I didn't think of that. And that kicks my ass every day. So like, for me, my healthy perspective is being like, at a certain point, I have to like, just what can I put into this, my dancing to make myself feel like I am still in control of my own dancing. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, you bring up some good points and some good ideas, which are like, you learned something from that situation.
Yeah.
Right? And so even if you like fall on your face and fail during the competition, if you learned something from it, then that's like something that you are still taking away from it.
Yeah, this is something that you're bringing up because we both resonated really well on us from this article. And it brings us to the next question, too, of how do we bounce back when we fail to achieve our goals and at the same time prevent ourselves from becoming addicted to success and results?
Yeah. And something that one of the athletes said that they were talking to is that they, regardless of how much progress they make physically throughout a course of time, they always look back and they go, how did I grow as a person, though? Did I learn anything? And I think like that hit really hard for me because there are so many times where I'm like, I don't feel like this certain skill that I have in Lindy Hop improved in the past 2 months, even though I've been working on it. Or, I should have been working on this, but I haven't been working on it, and my turns aren't as good as they should be.
Right, and it's such a funny thing to have to deal with.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like you said earlier, like there's so many other things in the world to deal with, but like when it's like, fuck, my turns aren't that good. But here's the thing. You have to deal with it only when you can deal with it. You know, like when you are in the studio and you're rehearsing or you're training yourself, then you fucking work on it. But like when you leave that training center, when you leave that practice, like let it go.
Yeah.
You know, unless you have another point where you can train yourself or like practice on it, that's when you can worry about it. But besides that, don't worry about it. There's nothing you could do about it.
Yeah. It's so true.
Like, and that's the best way to achieve a goal without having to constantly kill yourself into trying to achieve it.
Yeah. I mean, this is something that I really struggle with myself because I put a lot of emphasis on validation that I get from other people.
Right.
And that's probably just like me being insecure about things. But it's really easy to get worked up over the fact that I don't feel like I'm getting validated enough.
Right. So how do we bounce back from stuff that we fail? Our goals and not winning in this case of like a contest or not getting to a placement or something. So I feel like one of the things is you pointed out earlier is like, what can we learn from every perspective or like every chance we get when we're up there? What can we learn from it? Even when we are dead last or even when we're like first place, what can we learn? Because I'm sure, you know, as excited as we might get, like there's got to be a point where like, okay, I know I could do that better. And like that'll give us future goals, you know, like that's I feel is like more important than anything else.
I mean, I also feel like that's a very mature and insightful thing to accomplish.
Yeah.
It's easy to be like, oh, the judges are crazy, or nobody knows what they're doing. Like all the other dancers sucked up there, or I was the best one, or why don't they see me for who I am?
Yeah. Or the other perspective of that, like the other side of that is being like, I'm happy with the way I did. Like, one thing that was so funny about last year's ILHC for me was like, what the fuck was wrong with me? It was because like I thought I had grown to a spot where I was like, I don't care. I don't care what the audience thinks. I don't care what the judges think. I'm doing something and I feel very proud and I feel very confident in what I'm doing in. So like I'm like, okay, I'm going to go out there and do that. And that's going to be the best thing I can do at that moment for myself. And then I was rewarded for it. You know, I would get a placement and I was like, wow, that was unexpected because I was honestly not going for that. I was going for just having a good dance and having a good time with my partner out there because that's who I cared for the most, myself and my partner. And that's why I was like, fuck, I forgot all those things when I did this routine. And I was like, damn it. And so I just kicked my ass for that. But that's the thing is like, okay, now I gotta grow myself again to that point where I can be like, okay, how do I achieve my goals? Or right, what's my goal? Having a good time for me and my partner out there. And no matter what, being proud of the work I did. How do I achieve that?
Yeah.
Making sure that that's the first and foremost thing and not stressing so much.
Yeah. Totally. And I think you can really see the difference between when you're dancing to try to impress someone or try to show off and when you're dancing to honestly have a good time with your partner.
Yeah. Or like dance and show off for yourself and your partner, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to like dance and show off for everybody else.
And like, it's so much easier said than done to do that in a competition.
Sure.
Or even in a performance.
Sure. But that's one of the things is like, for me, it's like, it became one of these things of like, every time I would do a movement, I'd be like, who am I doing it for? am I doing it so the audience can see something, or am I doing it for you? Am I doing it because I think it's difficult and I want to try to do it for myself? And it would often be more towards the other side of it. And then with this other thing, I was like, oh no, I was thinking more of like placement of the audience and like, you know, like how are they going to see this part? You know, like I was like, fuck, I'm an idiot. So, I mean, live and learn, right?
Yeah.
So the two
Literally.
mindsets that we think about here are the harmonious passion and the obsessive passion. Obsessive being the part of like that needs that that goal oriented the external achievements and results, rewards, and recognition becoming the most important part. That's the obsessive part of it, and then the harmonious part is just being fulfilled with loving and enjoying the sport or activity or dance in this case for us, and enjoying that moment. And I think that's something like a lot of the old timers and a lot of dancers that I look up to, like they preach that. They go like, this is fun because I feel it's fun. Not because someone else told me it was fun, not because I learned it from a class. It's because I truly believe that this will heal the world. And that
living your truth.
Yeah, and like that mindset can kind of in essence kind of heal the world in itself. Like more people hear that, more people will hopefully find it for themselves, you know, what's their true passion.
Well, and that's totally hitting the nail on the head on one of these bullet points that they had at the bottom, staying true to what you loved about your sport.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, few people initially take up a sport with the sole intention to win. Instead, it's about how the sport makes you feel, a healthy sense of competition, or being a part of a community. Regularly reflect on your original reasons for being an athlete, especially after big wins or losses. Not loses.
Yeah. And yeah, definitely 100%. It's like a lot of the times people can come into something and then like not achieve their goal and then just be like fucking frustrated to hell. But like we always hear it. It's something that we always kind of take for granted because I think maybe we feel like it's cheesy, but it's like, you know, it's not the goal, it's the path towards the goal, you know?
It's not the destination, it's the journey.
Yeah, exactly, that too.
Yeah.
But it's still very true, and as much as we may think it's overused or cheesy, but like I feel like it's definitely true. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I personally am a very goal-oriented person, and it's hard for me to sustain like a good work ethic or even like a good motivation or a good passion for something when I don't have a set goal. And I think that's one of the things that I'm struggling with right now is like I don't have any goals in Lindy Hop right now. And part of it is because I just don't know what goals I should make. And I don't know, like, I don't have any goals that I can think of at the moment that, like, really ring true to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like...
Yeah, definitely. Well, to be fair, like, I mean, you're also kind of... Your goals are somewhere else right now. Like, you have so many other goals in another project that you're working on that I can see why you're having that trouble finding the goals that you usually... were able to find so easily before.
Yeah.
You know, so like it's just one of those things that like where it's sometimes very hard to be able to keep it up. So maybe you can find smaller goals and not have it to be these bigger goals that you had before for dancing. It could be like, you know what, on this Friday I'm going to go out dance, or this whatever night I'm going to go out dancing, and I'm going to ask like three people that I've never danced with before, even if they're beginners.
Yeah.
And like ask them about themselves, like try to, you know, talk to them in a different way. Or you could be like, I'm going to go out and I'm going to ask for a DJ spot.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
you're like, you know, there's so many other little things that we sometimes we just take for granted. And I'm just like, oh yeah, because we've done that already. Like, I'm sure you've done that before. And you, for sure, you had to.
I've done that dozens of times before.
You had to do that at Rhythm, right? Like, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's...
I mean, like, I made those kinds of goals every single week when I ran Rhythm, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I'm going to ask new people to dance tonight. I'm going to DJ a new song tonight that no one's ever heard me play, or, you know, whatever.
Yeah. So another bullet point down here at the bottom of this article that really wanted to focus on was I think you already talked about it a little bit, but it was called "Focus on the process, not the results." And the little
you said it.
the little part that I highlighted was a quote from a 2-time Olympic marathon runner, Des Linden. He said, I believe it's he. This person said, I ask myself, what did I gain from this last 4 months beyond a number? How did I grow as a person? And I think that's one of the things that I just focused on in the last couple of years. Like you said, you've always been a goal-oriented person. I feel like I've only been a goal-oriented person for the past 6 years. But before that, I was scared shitless to set a goal because I was afraid to reach it. But the thing is, I grew up as a person was when I was like, okay, goals can change over time. And I can set smaller goals, I can set grand goals, I can set years down the road, but also they can change over time depending on my situation. And I think that's one of the things that I took towards my dancing, that I was like, how did I grow as a person? I feel like I've achieved so much in this dance life, again, over almost 20 years of this dance life, that I feel like I can walk away from a certain part of it and still feel really, really good about it.
Well, yeah, being 20 years in something is that's a full career.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's only been 12 years of my life where I haven't been dancing. I'm 32 years old, you know? So
yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. And then there was, of course, you already said one.
Yes. Stay true to what you love about your sport.
Definitely. The things that I love about our sport or our dance is the, like what you said before, was the community aspect of it. And I really, really love that because we wouldn't be friends if it wasn't for this dance. And I love the idea that it brings people close together that maybe would have never have talked before, whether it be because they're shy or maybe they just aren't really good at talking to other people, but they get good at this dance, and you kind of don't have to learn to talk to somebody, but you have to learn a communication, and then that gets you a little bit better. And again, you focus on the process of getting better as a dancer, so you can communicate better with people, and then you actually end up communicating better with people, whether you're on or off the dance floor.
Totally. I mean, my closest friends are all dancers.
Yeah.
Who I met through dancing.
And that's the next part as well, the seek social support. Surround yourself with other athletes who seem to have a harmonious passion for their spirit as well, for their sport as well. And in this case, again, I don't know a Lindy Hopper that has started or has been doing it for a long time that's not passionate about friends in the scene. You know, they have really close friends to the point where people will meet each other through dancing, and then have them be part of their wedding or something. You know, I feel like that's a huge fucking honor. You know, when that comes when that happens.
Totally.
So the next part, periodically remove objective feedback. Now this one's funny because I take it in one way, but the example they give on there is really funny because it's complete.
It's so sporty.
Yeah, it's so sporty. It's complete a few workouts where you pay no attention to pace, pounds, or any other metrics. Doing so allows you to experience the freedom of simply enjoying your sport. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I think that you could translate that into every now and then go to a social dance and not worry about whether or not you're triple stepping correctly, or you're doing your swivels correctly, or you're leading that turn correctly. Just have a good time.
Yeah. Just fucking don't even think about what. Or for me, the thing I've been telling myself, don't think about how fast something is, because I've been really scared to dance fast. And I'm don't think about things like that. Just fucking dance.
Just do it.
When I was back home, when we would stay really late at Atomic, and there would be plenty of room to dance, they would play as fast music as they wanted to.
They play the fast music,
and we wouldn't care. We would just start dancing, and I'm okay, that would be the moments where I'm telling myself, don't care and just fucking dance.
And when you don't care like that, it's easier to dance faster than when you're
is.
I have to dance fast. I'm dancing fast now.
It really, really, really is. Yeah. When you're thinking about it, you're that kind of points, I'm having fun.
I'm having so much fun right now.
Yeah, with a confused face.
But am I?
Yeah. and
I feel sad inside.
I think that's what actually happens when I do. I feel sad inside because I can't feel my insides. And the last one right here is set an ultimate goal of personal development. And the little blurb on it down here says, you can learn and grow from both failure and success. If your objective is to get better as a person, literally any athletic result will help.
Damn.
And I think that goes along with everything. That sums up pretty much all those bullet points right there. It's like, just fucking set an ultimate goal of being like, you know why I'm doing this? Is so I can just be a better human.
I feel like that's what this article is actually about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like being a better human is going to be way more fulfilling at the end of the day than being a better athlete.
Yeah. Or dancer.
Or dancer.
Yeah. Like
it's not going to matter if you're the best dancer if you're not a good person.
Yeah.
We've seen that happen in the scene.
Mm-hmm. Many times.
Many times now.
Many times.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're amazing.
No.
If you're not a good person.
If you're a shithead, it's gonna show. And I think it's really important. I think a goal of mine is to identify my failures and identify my successes, identify my shortcomings and identify my strengths, and then try to make them balance. So in this article, I feel like there's specifically, this article is geared towards people that really would think on the obsessive side as opposed to the harmonious side. And it's funny because like when we first thought of it, we thought of it as obsessive and passionate. And yeah, those are definitely like kind of two different sides of the same coin, you know? But when you think about it, when we hear it again, obsessive and harmonious, like I feel like obsessive is just one side and harmonious is talking about both sides together as harmony.
Yeah.
You know, living in harmony with both sides of yourself. Kind of like, you know, Taoism in the sense of like yin and yang. You have to have both to be a complete person. And I feel like this article is generated towards the obsessive person, obsessive athlete, obsessive dancer in our case. But it's really saying that like you need to be harmonious. You need to feel and think it out at the same time and know when the right time to use one or the other or use them both at the same time.
Yeah.
But using all of that to continue it throughout your lifetime and how you can really set goals for yourself, like an ultimate goal of how to be a better person and identifying things like what am I doing this for? Am I doing this for a win? Am I doing this for my partner? Am I doing this for the crowd? Am I doing this because I love it? You know, identifying and understanding is the keys to success a lot of the times. It may not be outward success for everybody and praises and gold medals and whatnot, but it's going to be success for yourself.
Totally. Shall we move on to ye old question?
Yeah, I just want to say one last little thing about this article is that we'll put the link in the comments down below when we post it, so you guys can take a read of it. There's a lot of really great quotes from a lot of other amazing athletes on here, and they cite some great research studies about the effects of being an obsessive or being a harmonious athlete and how it could help lead a better life. So yeah, here we go to the question.
It's from Jeff Liu-Leyco. Hi, Jeff.
One of the six.
Hi, Jeff.
One of the six. One of the six. One of the
Jeff,
six. One of the six.
Jeff and Mimi have a cat named Earl, who's black and white, and I also have a black and white cat named Earl.
No way. I mean, I know. No, really?
I know.
I can't believe that.
It's incredible.
You guys should have some kind of group or league or squad.
Some sort
maybe?
of squad.
Yeah, some sort of squad maybe.
For celebrating cats.
Fucking Suicide Squad. Okay.
Anyway, he says, fun questions. If you were the dictators of Lindy Hop and everyone must do as you said, what song would you mandate to be played at every dance ever? And what song would you have stricken from existence?
Oh man, that is a good question. I think I know. I have to admit I didn't read the whole question. I stopped at everyone must do what you say.
Oh man.
And I didn't read the last part. So I was like no more filming of contests.
Okay, well, I know mine.
Go ahead. Go for
sure.
it. Go for it.
The song that I would never have played again is Beyond the Sea.
Oh, I Hate You.
Bobby Darin.
I Hate You. I love that.
Who it's by?
Yeah, I Hate You.
I hate that song.
I love that song. I love that song.
I hate it so much.
I've been really into that like 60s cool and swinging like fucking jazzy stuff.
Somewhere.
Yeah. You know why I like it?
Beyond the sea.
You know why I like it? I like that shit. I like that shit because, well, for one, I loved it when I was a kid, and then when I first started dancing, that was the stuff I danced to a lot of. So it's a bit nostalgic. And then I went through a phase of like totally hating it, like hating on Frank Sinatra, hating on all that stuff. And then like I've come to respect it in a different way because I was like, that's like the last bastion before like all like the electronic music started to come out, like disco.
Yeah.
That's like the last part of like this is really cool. Listen to this like fucking 20-piece orchestra behind me in front of a guy singing his heart out and like singing in such like a really relaxed way that it's so fucking cool. Like, that was the last little bastion of like really big band music.
Here's the thing though, is that like my distaste for the song has nothing to do with it being from the 60s or it being like new age jazz or Bobby Darin. It's just one of those songs that I have heard overplayed so many times. And usually like I will come around again on a song and be like, okay, like it's not that bad. I've just heard it too many times.
Sure.
But this song I like still haven't come around on.
Sure.
And it's been like 7 or 8 or 9 years.
We get it.
Rachel,
we get it. You're just a hateful spirit. You just hate on it.
I just don't like the song. I don't like the song.
Just hate on it.
Okay. The song that I would have played at every dance ever is called Sermonette by I think it's by not Earl Hines,
Everything's just Earl in your mind right now.
Unless it's Louis Jordan. It's a more new agey song. It's like a 50s song. But it just talks about like, and it's like very beginner friendly song, but I really like it. It's got a good jam, and it just talks about how you should just be loving to one another.
That's cool. I like. So it's got lyrics to it?
It's got lyrics.
Oh, that's cool. I like that. I think.
Hear me a sermonette. Have you heard it yet? That you won't soon forget. It's got the real simple kind people's spine of. It tells you to love one another, and that each man is your brother.
A lot this episode.
When you live right,
so I'm gonna be really nice and just
one day reach your soul.
Singing out.
And so we'll have no regrets.
This is the third A,
but to find what you're missing.
Almost done.
So I saw. Listen to that sermonette.
Yay! Can you, Rachel? Can you do it one more time though?
Yeah, but the exact same words. Totally.
No, that was great. That was great. Good job. You sang.
Have you heard that song?
You sang. It sounds really familiar, but like the way you sing it, no, it doesn't. But
but absolutely not.
No, it does. It does sound familiar. I don't think that's Louis Jordan, but I think it's around that same. But well, I mean, we'll find out later. I'm sure we'll find out.
Yeah. Well, totally. We'll totally find out.
So my song that I would mandate needs to be played at every dance ever, I think would probably be any Honeysuckle Rose song.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like, that still gets me every time. Even, like, the weird, like, outlandish fucking Oscar Peterson versions and shit like that.
Yeah.
And
that song is so good.
It is so good. And, but, like, even on those, like, I feel like it's one of those songs that is just so playful and so light and can be played so many different ways. Like, I have a playlist and it has like 40 different versions and they're all completely different. Yeah. There's even this like version of like a Django version that like plays it nice and easy, and it's so interesting because I'm like, he's not trying to add anything to it. He's just letting the song speak for itself, which is really rare for Django. Like he used to put like extra fucking everything,
extra Django in there.
Yeah. Put a little extra sauce on that song there.
The artist is Earl Grant.
Earl Grant. There you go. And I think that
Honeysuckle Rose is a great choice. Good for you.
and I think ooh, even there's this version of oh my god, it's completely, my mind just blanked out, and I was like, whatever. There's a version of Honeysuckle Rose that I really like a lot, but I can't remember the singer's name. Anyways, so
Is it Count Basie?
I feel like when you're doing that, you're copying somebody, and I don't know if
Is
it's
that me?
and anyways.
Anyways.
So let's see, stricken from existence. I mean, oh,
That's
I
like,
do have
whoa.
one. I do have one. I do. It gets me
Is
every
it,
time. It's the fucking
is it
coal
a-
miner song.
Oh.
15 tons, whatever.
Tennessee,
I owe my soul to the company store.
Tennessee Ford.
Sure. But I didn't even know.
16 tons. What do you
I
get?
hate that song.
Done
Really.
face on and da-da-da-da.
There's something about it. I'm like, why do you guys play this song? Like, this is not a fun song to dance to.
I haven't heard that song in so long.
It's not. I mean, and I am a big proponent for like anything in minor keys. I'm like, yeah, great. And that song is a minor key, but I'm like, no. It's so much no. It's just so much no. Every time it gets to that point where you just sang the do
Yeah.
do 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 do. Like I just think of like a Disney old school like Disney one-off little short cartoon that would have like really weird music in it, and I think of that every time, and I'm like,
It
I
makes me
don't
think
like
of,
those times. I don't like those days
Disney
of my life.
skeletons.
Yeah, like stuff like that. Like I'm just like, no, guy, just no. Like I've honestly never seen anybody go, oh my god, it's my favorite song. Like I feel like every song I've ever listened to on a swing.
Well, sure, that's
song,
how I feel about Beyond the Sea. Like nobody
No.
does that to Beyond the Sea.
I'm
you?
pointing at myself. Yeah.
You did that to Beyond the Sea?
Yeah, I fucking love that song. If that song came on and we were around, I'd be like, yeah, I want to jam to that. Fuck yeah, I love this song. I'm not even joking. I'm not even trying to pull, like, yeah. But let's be honest, Tennessee Ford, worst song of all time.
It's not a good one, that's for sure. It is not. Oh man, there's another song. It just wisped in and out of my head really quickly. I can't think of what it was. But it's so bad.
So thank you.
There's like a lot of those
I
songs.
know. But you can't think of it. But like that was one for sure for me. Thank you, Jeff, for your question and
Thanks,
everything. Being one of the six, hashtag one of the six. Yeah. So what's your bright side, Rachel?
Oh, I mean, I guess my bright side is that despite how I've been feeling, this article like really hit home for me, and rereading it has been really nice, and I think I'm going to like try to take those things to heart and see if I can't improve situations for myself, you know?
Yeah.
Like I can't change the scene in LA. Like it's too big and complicated for one person to step in and just suddenly change everything. That'll never happen.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. I was just waiting for you to say yes.
You need my
I need your validation.
Your validation.
I
Yes,
need your
Rachel.
validation and agreeance.
Yes, Rachel. You're always right. You're so right. Wow, you're so
thank
right.
you.
Also, very pretty today.
Oh, thank you. I did not leave the house once.
Me neither.
Oh. You didn't teach classes today?
No, I'm all done.
Oh. Well, hey. Hi.
So your bright side is?
Oh, just the article. The article was great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm glad. I'm really glad you brought it up today. Because I was definitely in a funk, and hearing you talk about your funk like helped me kind of like realize like, oh yeah, there's other people to talk to. Like maybe my funk is like self-imposed, and I need to remember to be like one of the things here is seek
Yeah.
social support. So I'm like, we're seeking social support right here by giving each other feedback on just hearing each other out, which is really good.
Totally.
And I think-
Totally. And that's what I like was trying to say is like I can't change the scene, but I can like I can change things within myself.
Yeah, yeah, and I think my bright side really with this whole thing is that watching La La Land really helped me go forward in my life.
LA for life.
LA for life. LA.
LA. You can't see us, but we're making the LA symbol.
LA. But I mean, it's just really interesting because, like, again, I've been feeling a funk, and it's only because classes have ended. I have most of July for myself, and I'm going to be in Madrid.
Yeah.
I need to stay busy. I need to keep active. I need to do a lot of things, and watching La La Land, talking to you, thinking about the past, thinking about what I could do better, and the goals I want to achieve that I've set for myself for the next 2 years of my life, or year and a half now, I guess, are still evident, and they're still haven't happened yet. So I still have time, and like I shouldn't think everything is all fucked up already. Like I need to just keep chugging forward and keep hustling and keep moving. And this is what I want to be doing with the rest, not the rest of my life, but at least this is what I want to be doing for the next year and a half of my life. And then I got to revisit things and see how things change. Maybe I'll move back to Southern California indefinitely. Maybe I'll move to Europe indefinitely. Who knows? But the thing is right now I'm thinking about these 2 years, and there is no after that just yet.
Yeah.
There's up to there, and then I will decide what happens after that. And I think that's really powerful for me. And watching the movie, talking to you, hearing this, or reading this fucking thing was really great for me. So
Yay,
that's my bright sides.
Well, now that it's summer vacay for you, what are you going to do in Madrid? You got any plans?
No. I'm gonna I've taken this whole week off where I'm just like, I'll do a couple things here and there when like the people that I need to talk to over in the States are awake, which is like later at night. So like everything after like 7 p.m. when people start waking up, and then I start like dealing with things I need to deal with, emails and stuff. But then but like during the day, like I'm like sleeping till I tell myself sleep till 10. So I have an alarm. I wake up and like get up out of bed and like make myself breakfast and then start watching things on YouTube, like Stephen Colbert. Yeah, that's been fucking lifesaver.
Have you like gone to museums and cultural centers?
Not yet. I want to just give myself a minute to like be not have to
chill.
Yeah, just fucking chill. That's exactly it.
Yeah,
and just fucking chill and just like relax
little
for a little
staycation.
bit. Yeah, just for a little bit, and then like the next 3 weeks I'll be like pretty down to a regiment, and then like give myself like 1 or 2 days out of the week to like go out and like walk around the city, because I really love walking around here.
Yeah,
it's really, really fun. Like I don't know, I just walking aimlessly to different parts of the city, like it's so beautiful in Madrid.
Like, you know, when you walk and like sometimes it can be like super fun. I think that's like what I'm going to be doing later this week, is just like walking and seeing if I could have fun while I'm walking.
When's the last time you took a walk?
Like 2 nights ago.
Where?
Brett and I go on walks all the time in my neighborhood. My neighborhood is so walkable.
Oh, see, there you go. Then there you go. You do go for walks.
It's like so fun to walk around.
So we
like walk around. Oh, okay. So Emily Martin and Brett and I, we walked over to a restaurant. We ate dinner at a restaurant, and then we walked over and we got ice cream, and we ate our ice cream, and we like walked home, and we had like so much fun because we were walking. I
don't care. Exactly. And that's how we're going to end it today.
That's the end.
Guys, thank you for listening. Read that article. Tell us what you think about it. It's really short read. It's really, really great. I don't think it's meant to be like a motivating thing, but it's definitely meant to be like, am I doing these things? So like really take the time, take 5 minutes. That's all it took me to read it. And you guys know where to find us. Facebook.
Send us your questions. If you want us to cover a topic, we could do that.
Yeah, hit us up on the Facebooks. That's the best way to reach us. Send us a message, leave a comment, and we have the YouTubes now, where all the episodes are up there. All the episodes are up there now.
All the episodes are up there.
Yeah, it took a long time.
If SoundCloud and iTunes isn't enough for you, and you're like, oh, if only there was something on YouTube that I could listen to. Well,
you'd be surprised.
Wait no longer. They are there.
You'd be surprised, like
for your ear pleasurement.
Your ear wetness. You know what's funny? As the other day,
it's like ceviche for your ears.
Oh, that's so. Oh, there's so many bad things to that. That's so funny. I was trying to look up how to put on Google Play, and then it said like, sorry, Google Play is not available in your country. I'm like, fucking Spain. Every time I want to do something, they're always like, we'll
Late
get to it.
the game.
We'll get to it. We're making paella. Go home.
We're making paella.
Go home.
BRB.
Go take a siesta. Okay, everybody. That's it for today. Thank you for listening to us to Rant and Rave. Also, leave us some feedback on the iTunes. We also love that. Also, let us know how you felt about La La Land.
Yeah.
And also, give us a thumbs up if you want to see Rachel's bad side with her leather jacket.
Oh, God. Yeah.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye. Bye-bye.